Hi guys and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will be talking about the new Warbands and I will explain what are some of the best ideas in order for you to build the most unique and coolest Warbands possible. So for those of you who are not necessarily aware, Warbands will be enabled tomorrow with the release of the pre-patch for the War Within, and so your new login screen will be like that, with your favorite characters that will all appear in this little circle, and you will be able to then directly hop from one character to another. And so as you can see, this is basically your Warband, and then you can easily take one character and replace it in your Warband. So this is really one of the coolest new features of the War Within, and of course Warbands are not just the login screen, but you will then be able to have a lot of different perks for adding characters in your warband, such as for instance being able to transfer currencies from one character to another and being able to transfer items and a lot of other things. So basically your warband should be normally all the main characters you're playing. So what's cool with how all the different characters in your warband are displayed in your login screen is that you can really give them an identity. You can build your own crew and make sure that your warband is as cool, unique, and badass as possible. And so here, for instance, as you can see, some people have already started to share some ideas of what they want to do with their warband. So for instance, here we have this person, Cash, that made this one the Urgent Crusade. And so as you can see, it will look like that, which I think looks really nice. Then you have same here, this person, Deuce Canoe, that did this one. And so as you can see, this one is the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Again, I think this looks really nice. And as you can see, the person is using different sets from different expansions. And overall, I think this is a really cool idea as well. And then we have this one as well. So this is the Loot Troop. And so I think again, here you have a clear identity. And this is something that looks really cool. So what I'm going to do in today's video is simply share with you some of the different ideas I could think of. Of course, these are only ideas, and what's important is that you do what makes you the happiest. If you don't really care about the identity of your warband, that's also completely fine. But if you do, maybe, hopefully, some of these different ideas will help you to build something really cool. So the first thing that I'm sure many of you already thought about is, of course, to have a color-themed warband. So here it means you should have the same main color, or you can maybe have like 2 or 3 colors that will be the same for all your different characters. So it can be, for instance, purple, blue, whatever color you prefer. And then you really want to make sure that everything matches well, so your characters look like they're parts of the same color themed group. So this is something that I think would be really nice. Right now, sadly, in the beta version of the game, most of the different appearances and transmogs are not copied, and so I cannot really try a lot. But as you can see, you can imagine and probably do a lot of really cool things if you want to, again, create one of these color-themed warbands. And here I really like the fact that you can use the different weapon illusions in order to make this color theme even more vibrant. And this is something that I think is really cool overall. Another cool idea could be a raid tier theme warband. So basically, if you really like one specific raid and all the different tier sets from this raid, you can just add these different tier sets to all your different characters in your warband. And like that, you will have the impression to be just preparing a group in order to go and do this raid each time you logging into the game. And this is something that I think can work really well with many raids that have a clear identity. So for instance, if you're taking, I don't know, some of the different Iceborne Citadel sets, you will probably feel like you're just diving into Wrath of the Lich King and the ICC raid. And same with many others. As you can see, personally, I chose the tier 3 because these are my favorite sets in the game. And this is something that I will probably do actually when the live version of the Warband and the game will be released. Another really cool option is to simply role-playing with your Warband. So here, for instance, I decided to create a group of lumberjacks, and I think it looks really nice. They all have different weapons, and especially when the War Within will release, you will get even more gardening weapons and everything. So I think this is really nice. But for instance, let's say you're into gold making, you can create a few of these different bank goblins and over really rich characters and then just do it like that. If you're into pirates, you can do something only with pirates. So it's really up to you to see what type of roleplay warband you want to create, but you can really do a lot, especially now that we have so many different type of transmogs in the game. For instance, you can even probably create some GTA type of characters and things like that. So there's a lot you can do with all the transmogs in the game. Now, of course, very similar to that, you can just have something with a clear theme. And so here, this example, again, I think is really cool because you can clearly see the identity of this warband. And I think all the different characters match really well. And so this is something really cool you can do with many different type of themes. It doesn't have to be dark, voidish and everything. You can really do a lot. And this is definitely something I'm looking forward to see a little bit what everyone will think of and how to combine different characters, different transmogs in order to create the best theme possible. And for this one, again, I really love this one as well because it's really different. It's super nice. And of course, the Argent Crusade is super cool as well. So all these different themed warband are really nice. Now, another interesting category is cosplaying. So here, for instance, this is what I have in mind when I think about cosplaying different characters in World of Warcraft. And this is the different characters from the South Park episode, Make Love, Not Warcraft. So if you're able to recreate, for instance, these different transmogs with these different type of characters, I think this could be really awesome. And I'm sure you can do it with plenty of other things, plenty of other movies and other type of things. So this is again a really good opportunity for you to cosplay some of your favorite fictional or real characters and basically be able to play them in the game. But I can really bet that some people are going to do this one because this is iconic, and other than a few pieces on this character, most of the different items that are here are available in the game. And even though the characters are now a little bit more high-res than that, you will still have the proper vibe from this episode. Another cool idea would be maybe a warband around a special race. So for instance, here, as you can see, I have all the different Zandalari trolls with all their different heritage armors. But you can probably, for instance, use some of the parts of the heritage armors and then build some pretty cool racial sets with other type of transmogs. And so you can do that with any of the different races. And I think that can again be really nice because now that we have so many transmogs in the game, you can really build some strong sets on your own. So definitely something worth considering as well. Now, of course, you can also simply have a warband that looks cool because you like the style. There's no meaning behind it. There's no cosplaying, role playing, nothing like that, just because you enjoy the style. And this is also something that is completely worth doing and that will probably make you happy in the end. So if you like a specific style, try to make it match with all your different characters, and hopefully you will have a style that you really like for all your different warband characters. Now, another obvious one is to have a warband that is built around a class fantasy. So for instance, here, as you can see, I'm using the 4 different warriors and I have 4 different warrior sets on them, which I think looks very cool. Obviously, most people don't have 4 characters of the same class that they will have in the warband. If you're not Zaryu or I don't know who else who is playing like these type of characters again and again, probably you have different type of characters. But let's say, for instance, you have a paladin, you have a death knight. You can always use some of the different sets that you can get in the different raids that belong to, let's say here, warriors, and then build really a warband that is focusing only on one class in particular. So that can be warriors, that can be something else. I just think this is something that can also be really cool. And the last thing that I want to mention is probably having a warband linked to an expansion. So if, for instance, you really love Mist of Pandaria, you can try to get some of the different looks from Mist of Pandaria, some of the cosmetics from Mist of Pandaria, and try to apply that to all your characters so it really looks like this warband belongs to Mist of Pandaria. You can do that with any of the different expansions. And again, I think this is something that can be really interesting. So these are just a few ideas I had and that I wanted to share with you. I'm really looking forward and I'm super excited to see a little bit what everyone will come up with, and hopefully we'll see some really cool warbands being created. So I'm looking forward to that. In the meantime, I wish you all a great day and I will be back very soon with more videos. Bye!